In this video, I will speak about how spiritually elevated people prepare for death. For you may be in a situation where you are facing death. Maybe you have a terminal illness, or you know that your death is approaching very, very quickly. But death is not like anything you may consider according to our Western culture. Death is actually something completely different. And I will speak about this from the ancient yoga textbook called Bhagavad Gita as it is, and I will give you also amazing stories about how elevated people have prepared for death to attain the ultimate success, because the death is not the end. The death is just departing from this life and entering in another one. And it is what you do right now before your death comes that will determine where will you go. So in this video, you will learn about 4 different kinds of destinations that you can achieve after death, and the second, how to prepare for the best and highest destination. So I will start speaking shortly from a text, Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, number 6. And it is also, it has amazing Sanskrit. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajant ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sadatat bhava bhavitaha. And this means that basically the last thought that you have just before your death will take you to the destination that will correspond to your bhava. Bhava actually means in this context your state of mind, your emotion, your thoughts, what you are thinking about at the very last moment. This will take you to the next destination after death. So in spiritual circles, it is actually very, very important to consider preparing for death. And actually, in one sense, our entire life is a preparation for this very last moment before death. And especially in Bhakti Yoga, we know that the most important thing is Ante Narayana Smriti, which means that at the very last moment of your life, which means on the verge of death, you remember Narayana. Who is Narayana? Narayana is the supreme absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is completely spiritual, full of bliss and full of love. So if you can remember this personality, then you can attain the highest possible destination, which is the spiritual abode, far away from any miserable place in this material creation. So first I would like to give you, actually first I want to say one thing. For majority of people, especially in the West, death is a very terrifying thing. People are afraid of death. People are afraid of dying because they know they will lose everything. Whatever they might have accumulated, whatever possessions, whatever wealth, prestige, position, loved ones, they will have to leave all these behind. And this is truth. And many people also think that that is the end. When I die, then I don't exist anymore. This is the end of it. But it is not so. Death is not the end. Death is a new beginning. It's only the end of this life. But then the new life begins, because you never die. You are a spiritual being, eternal spiritual soul, and you never die. How does this feel? Feels good. Because this is our nature. We are eternal. We want to live eternally. This feels good. So don't worry, you will not die. Just this body will, it has it's a date of expiration. So it does not last forever. So eventually it has to expire. But then you get another chance, another life. So let's explore now where you can go. There are 4 different kinds of destinations. So first destination, I'll start from the worst. The first destination you can go is going downwards. And this means you're going to the worlds which are the lowest planetary systems within this universe. And the worst of them all is the planetary system which we call hellish planets. This actually exists. So like you might have heard, if you have a Christian background, you might have heard about heaven and hell. It does exist actually. There are the planets. There are the hellish planets where the souls go, which unfortunately have committed many improper acts, and therefore have accrued really bad karma. And for this bad karma, they have to go to these hellish planets, hellish worlds. But not forever, don't worry, not forever. Just for a certain period of time, until they pay this debt of bad karma. And after that, they can come back again. They can come back again even to this planet Earth. But this is not where you want to go. And this is the whole purpose of why I'm speaking in this video, to save you from this. Then the next destination where you can go, you can be born again on this planet Earth, or some similarly planets. So you can live a life of a human being, and again to go through all the trials, tribulations, and some little happiness in between. If this is what you want, you can do it, you can have it. But this is not something that will really bring you the highest happiness, or that is the highest goal. Then the third possible destination is the higher regions. These are the higher planets. There are 2 kinds of higher planets. You can go to Svarga, which are heavenly planets, where you can enjoy heavenly delights. And it is very nice, very enjoyable, very pleasurable, but also not forever. Only for that amount of time for you to pay off your good karma. It's like a good credit you have on your credit card. So as much as you have, you can enjoy. But when all your good karma is exhausted, then again you have to come down. And you will come down on the planet Earth again, to again create new karma. So again, it's not like the final and the best destination. Of course, you can go still a little bit higher. And these are the planetary systems, which are the planets of the sages. But this is only for spiritually elevated people. This is for the people who have practiced strict spiritual discipline, celibacy, meditation, cultivated spiritual knowledge, but were not yet able to achieve the highest goal. But now I want to tell you about the highest destination. The highest destination is the spiritual world, the spiritual sky. There are innumerable self-illuminated planets in the spiritual sky, and each of them is full of bliss, knowledge, eternal life. There is no death there. There is no fear there. There is no disease there. There is no old age there. There is just loving exchange between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the souls. And you can be there in any role that your heart desires, so that you can be completely satisfied, fully in spiritual bliss and loving service to your Supreme Lord. So this is the highest destination. And now I want to tell you two stories. One is the ancient story which has taken place about 5,000 years ago and is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a story of King Parikshit. He was cursed to die within 7 days. And he was actually the emperor. He was the emperor of the entire planet Earth at that time. So what did he do? He just gave it all up. He gave up his royal dress. He gave up the throne. He gave up his crown, and he just went to the holy river to fast until death. And at that moment, so many sages came from all over the universe, because King Parikshit was spiritually extremely elevated. And they all knew something extraordinary will happen now. And it really did. Because the greatest of all sages, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, appeared on the scene, on the stage. And he became the spiritual master, the spiritual teacher of King Parikshit. And he actually, there started actually a dialogue, questions and answers. King Parikshit started asking important questions, and Shukadeva Goswami started giving answers. And all this is described now in the book called Srimad Bhagavatam. 7 days and 7 nights were they discussing. And King Parikshit did not sleep, he did not eat, he did not drink. He was totally absorbed in this Krishna Katha, we say. Krishna Katha means the talks about the Supreme Personality, and everything what is connected with the Supreme Personality, spiritual world, and all the activities there, and all his activities here in this world. And everything what one who is about to die needs to know. This was actually one of his first questions. What is the most important thing that one has to do, one who is about to die? So in the answer, the entire book was actually recited, narrated to him. But the very essence is to hear and chant about these spiritual topics, to completely absorb yourself in hearing about your spiritual nature, about the spiritual world, about the Supreme Spiritual Personality, the absolute truth, and how you are related to him, what your relationship is with him, what are the activities that you can do in connection with him. This is what you have to hear when you are preparing yourself for death. And King Parikshit was hearing like this, and at the very last moment, when the moment of death came, he was completely prepared, and he went straight for the final destination, for the spiritual world. And now I also want to share one other extraordinary story. And this is a story that is happening right now, here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, the most holy place on this planet. There is one spiritual teacher in our society of ISKCON who is preparing for death. He has 4th stage cancer, and he only has weeks, maybe months, but maybe weeks left. And he is here, and many of his disciples came too, to share these last days and weeks, at least some of them with him, to still have some of his association. And what is he doing? I want to tell you about an amazing, amazing song of a man who is about to die. And that happened 2 days ago when we celebrated one of the most amazing celebrations, appearance day of Srimati Radharani, who is the supreme goddess. And this spiritual teacher, he was there in the temple and he was chanting. He was chanting our most important mantra, which is called the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra. And he was chanting this mantra on the top of his lungs with so much joy, with so much conviction, with so much determination, that all the people within the temple, and there were, believe me, there were about thousands of people there, everybody was moved in the heart. Everybody was singing along. So many people were dancing, bouncing around. It was just such a blissful atmosphere that was created, just one of a time, just very, very extraordinary. And at that moment, I thought, just see how this spiritually elevated personality is giving an example how to prepare for death joyfully, in full consciousness, in full knowledge of what is the final destination and how to get ready to achieve this final destination, which there is no doubt he will achieve. And the story continues because he is still preparing. And if you want to tune into to get more update, please give me some questions, comments, and we will stay in touch upon this matter. So hopefully this was something encouraging and inspiring for you to immediately start associating with spiritually elevated people, to start reading books like Bhagavad Gita as it is. You have in the commentary section, you have the description box, you have the verse. You can read this verse, you can read more, you can watch more of the videos on my YouTube channel, and you will be on your way to get ready, to get prepared to achieving the highest destination. All the best.